Hey guys, welcome to 4 Idiots React. This is Sufyan from India. Namaste, salam, sat sri akal,
Welcome.
Mane Macham.
Mane.
Hi guys, this is Zara from Iran. Salam Dostayazdi. Oh wait. Salam Dostayazdi.
Hey guys, this is Danya from Kazakhstan. Добро пожаловать, друзья! Wow, this is
Khush
different one
Abadi.
today.
Oh, what happened?
Illuminati.
Are you Illuminati?
We are part, yeah, Illuminati.
Illuminati
Oh my
type
God.
of shit.
Yeah.
Or,
Okay.
okay. Yes, Sanam, go for it.
Khush Abadi, this is Anam from Pakistan, and today we are reacting to Geography Now Pakistan.
Pakistan!
Yeah.
Pakistan Zindabad.
Pakistan.
Zindabad. Zindabad. I don't know. It's like
What
a
is
flag.
What is this?
It's the flag.
Like people do it or you just
No,
invented
I
it?
just
Oh
invented
man,
it.
I thought people do it.
Then it doesn't. Then whatever you're doing is not looking good.
Everybody
It's not looking
copied me.
Pakistan Zindabad in any way.
I saw a lot of
It's a flag.
I saw
This is this not
The
what I
flag
did.
is
I did
supposed to
this.
be this way, like you.
That's even worse,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah.
At least flag does this.
Okay, I don't know.
It's like BTS flag.
I saw Pakistan people. I saw Pakistan people doing this too.
Oh,
Did you
Yeah,
guys,
yeah.
Did you guys see this?
Adab.
No, this is
yeah.
adab. This is
Yeah,
adab,
it's like,
saying hi.
but it's not so much.
like
we
how
don't do
it's
it so
namaste
much.
in India. I think this is.
Oh,
Namaste.
Is
okay.
it
don't
on
do it a
mouth or
lot.
on forehead though?
No, even we
No,
don't go and we
forehead.
don't do this to
Oh,
every
okay.
like
Oh.
all the time. But this is like a traditional thing. I
Yes.
We should
So-
have done open it up like this. Hi guys.
yes, adab guys.
Okay. Adab.
Adab to all our Pakistani subscribers.
Yes.
Yes, and this video is for you guys because many people commented. Somebody was doing a petition on us reacting to our own
Oh, yeah.
countries after India.
Shout out to you,
So
guys.
shout out to you and
You must have already seen Iran's video.
Yes.
Now we are doing
Yeah.
Pakistan and Kazakhstan.
Coming soon.
coming
coming
soon
soon.
Kazakhstan
Last.
and yeah, we'll just go and watch it. So let's go.
Go. Lay it.
All right, Pakistan. You've probably heard of this guy, maybe in the news, maybe in literature,
Guy?
maybe in movies. Pakistan is sort of a societal paradox. It's only a little over half a century old, yet it retains history that predates the pyramids of Egypt. There's so much to cover, so pack your bags and stand on this bus ride to Pakistan.
Let's go.
Whoa, okay.
It's time to learn geography now! Hey everyone, I'm your host Barbs. Pakistan is kind of like the
Barbs?
bridge between the Middle East and the rest of Asia. It is the only nation in the world known to have been established on the basis of religion alone.
Well, what about me?
I mean, originally kind of, yes, but you were like one unit with Pakistan, and then you got a second independence based on you not liking
really?
Pakistan.
Oh yeah, that's right. By the way, you should
That's
really
totally
redo
true.
my episodes. Completely outdated, and you totally stole that map from Jay Foreman.
Oh, I met up with Jay in London. We had a jolly live stream chat and laughed about it. Calm down, he's cool with me.
It's true, I am cool with it. I'm not really cool with it.
Anyway, time for Pakistan. Pakistan. It's interesting because even the name, which means pure land, is even an acronym for the 5 former regions of British India that joined together. Punjab, Afghania, Kashmir, Sindh, and Baluchistan. Pakistan! Later the I was added to just help with pronunciation. Anyway, the map. Pakistan is
okay.
located in South Asia, surrounded by Iran, Afghanistan, China, and India, with the Arabian Sea and Gulf of Oman in the south. The country is divided into 4 provinces and 3 territories, including the capital Islamabad that acts as its own territory. Keep in mind the northern territories are administratively operated under Pakistan's government, but India still claims parts or most of them. The country's largest city and former capital, though, is Karachi in the
Hey.
Sindh province, with about 15 million people. It holds the largest
Wow.
and busiest airport, Karachi Jinnah International, and the largest shipping port, the port of Karachi, which handles about 60% of the nation's cargo. However, the largest deep sea port in the world is actually
The
here in
world.
Baghdad. Recently, it has been going over massive renovations and construction funded by the Chinese as a means to help with access to the Indian Ocean. The nation's second largest city is Lahore in the Punjab
this
province,
city is
which
really
holds the
beautiful.
third busiest airport, Lahore Alama Iqbal International. The country has a vast, wide rail network extending from Karachi to Peshawar in the north, with branch lines extending to Iran, Afghanistan, and a proposed line that goes up to China. However, it would be very difficult considering that there are incredibly high mountains up further north, and today there is only one main road that crosses over from Pakistan into China. The N35 highway, otherwise known as the Karakoram Highway, the world's highest paved road at over 4,000 meters above sea level. This one little road is
Surprisingly, I
the
know one of
life-giving
these
artery
things.
on the 523-kilometer wide
Surprising.
border that gives China access to the Indian Ocean and Pakistan access to the east, circumnavigating around India, which otherwise blocks them both. Yeah, I mean, it's really not hard to understand why China and Pakistan get along. It's like...
Access to the west.
Nope.
Taiwan.
And now my favorite part of any episode, territorial anomalies. Now if you ask someone to draw the map of Pakistan, you might get a lot of different images depending on who you ask. Some might draw this, some might draw this, and those that don't know what maps are might draw this. But in regards to the Pakistani administered areas, as we discussed before,
northern
this
parts,
whole
right?
region is disputed with India, and it is the site of the most militarized area on the planet, Jammu and Kashmir. In a condensed explanation, in this area, Pakistan and India want all of this, China just wants these parts. Pakistan and India had 3 wars. They drew a militarized line over here between India and Pakistan. Pakistan relinquished their claim to the Shaksam Valley over to China, but India did not agree and still claims it. All the while, all 3 countries
God, 3
converge on the
countries are
Siachen Glacier, the second largest
What's
non-polar
China
glacier
doing
in the
there?
world, on point
That's
AJ
it.
9842, and the Dead Man Zone begins where nobody dares to do anything. This is probably the most tense border point in the world. So there you go, confusing border stuff and weird tension with Chinese alliance. Pakistan! Some of the top spots you guys, the Pakistani geography suggested we mention in this video include places like Faisal Mosque, the Shandur Polo Grounds, the most dangerous hanging bridge in the
okay.
world, Shangri-La Lake, the shipbreaking yard of Gadani. There's so many amusement parks like these. There are so many forts like these. There's even some Hindu sites like these. Of
Okay,
course, there's so
nice.
many tombs and mausoleums. Here's a bunch of them. There's St. Patrick's Cathedral in
Okay.
Karachi, Changamanga, Lahore Museum, Karachi War Cemetery, all of these UNESCO heritage sites, as well as these major archaeological sites. Yeah, you can see that there's a lot of backstory hidden within the valleys of Pakistan, and it goes way back to a very important river, which brings us to... Pakistan's landscape is incredibly diverse.
Oh my
If you
God,
look
this
at
place is
Pakistan
so
from above,
beautiful.
you'll notice it has some very prominent and distinctly contrasting features. And it's very interesting how Pakistan used these features to their advantage. For one, Pakistan is kind of precariously situated right at the convergence of the Indian, Arabian, and Eurasian plate zones. This is what has created the dry, hilly area known as the Sulayman Range and the Balochistan Plateau in the southwest. Despite the Balochistan province, the largest one, taking up about 44% of the country's land, only about 6% of the population lives here. This effectively makes Balochistan and Azad Kashmir the earthquake capitals of Pakistan. The capital of Balochistan, Quetta, was nearly destroyed in 1935, yet rebuilt. In the north, you can find the tallest peak, K2 or Chogori, the second tallest mountain in the world, straddling the border with the disputed Shaksam Valley that both India and China claim. Keep in mind, 5 of the 14 tallest peaks in the world, known as the 8,000ers Club, are located in the north of Pakistan, 4 in the Gilgit-Baltistan territory alone. From there, going south, you see the one iconic powerhouse lifeline of the entire nation, the Indus River. Fed by snowmelt from the mountains up north, this is the longest river in the nation that has dozens of branches and tributaries that essentially feed the entire country. In fact, the Indus River Basin is the world's largest irrigation system with over 58,000 kilometers of canals, cultivating over 230,000 square kilometers of land. Further south, you find the largest natural lake in the country, Manchar, along the edges of the Indus Valley that flow into the Indus River Delta, with the Kheti Bundur South Wildlife Sanctuary. This is the most heavily forested and wildlife concentrated area of Pakistan that is not commercially exploited. Also, it is really hard to build harbors here because the swampy mangroves make it difficult. Finally, a skip to the east, you hit the Talpakar Desert, which claims to be the world's only fertile desert, with a dry landscape,
desert.
but abundance of water sources that nourish the myriad of shrubby plants and wildlife. Just zoom in and you can find small ponds and creeks meandering throughout the entire area, well across the border into India. Now keep in mind, within all this stuff, there's a ton of cool notable sites, such as the Hingol mud volcanoes, that lake that looks like a teardrop, the Biafo Glacier with fairy meadows, the second largest salt mine in the world, and there's so much more, but yeah, I'm done here. I need a triple shot of espresso break, which means, oh no!
Oh no!
Oh no!
Oh, Noah. As you can probably guess by now, Pakistan's land is not only
What?
loaded with
This
large
guy-
amounts
What
of resources
happened?
as well. Over 40% of the population is employed in agriculture and livestock, where
Yeah.
wheat and cotton are the major crops. They actually rank 4th in the world for cotton production and
Oh.
3rd in goat meat. Pakistan is
Okay.
actually one of the largest textile producing countries
Yeah.
in the
All
world.
the shirts
In
come
fact,
from
this
there,
one
then?
city produces about
Most of the
half the
shirts?
entire world's
Football.
football or
Yes.
soccer balls. Otherwise, the nation is also thriving with wildlife. They have about 660 bird species, over 170 mammal
Oh.
species, including the national animal, the markhor. To finish off the segment like we always do, food. Some dishes dishes you guys, the Pakistani geography suggestions we mentioned include things like Baluchi-style saji and meatball. Beef and lamb korma is also popular. In the north, you see dishes closer to Iranian and Afghan cuisine like lamb and beef kebab and Pashtun-style rice. We all know the world-famous
It
Punjab
tastes good
cuisine
as
is
well.
virtually the exact same as the Punjab in India. In the south, the Sindhi people will probably have more fish in their diets as they are on the coast. There's a lot of other cuisines we could have mentioned within the various ethnic groups, but that would take way too much time. We can, however, talk about the people groups in this next segment.
It's 19 minutes.
Thank you, Noah.
Yeah.
Now, the weird thing about the entire South Asian subcontinent is that when you look at the people, many of them look exactly alike, and you would just assume they're basically relatives. I mean, you have Pakistani Punjabis and Indian Punjabis, Pakistani Kashmiris, Indian Kashmiris. They have the same languages and same cultural traditions and history and customs, and in most cases, they really are family. But when it comes to nationhood and worldview, the dichotomy makes a clear boundary that splits one side from the other.
Keep talking. We're listening.
First of all, the country has over 200 million people and is the sixth most populous nation in the world and
Wow.
second most populous Muslim nation after Indonesia. The country is very diverse in people groups, but the
Did we
largest
say
ones
India
are
was the
Punjabis
second?
at around
The last
45%,
video?
Pashtuns
Oh, yeah,
in the
yeah,
north
that's
about
right.
16%, Sindhis in the south about 14%, Saraikis about 9%, and the rest are a mix of various other people groups like the Mujahirs, Baluchis, and so on. They use the Pakistani rupee as their currency, they use the type C and D plug outlets, and they drive on the left side of the road. Yeah, they were a former British colony. Now, Pakistan has 74 listed individual languages spoken throughout the country, 66 of which are indigenous and 5 have over 10 million speakers each. Almost all of them are Indo-Aryan. How on earth do all the people of Pakistan stay interconnected? Well, today, much like India, the nation has 2 official languages used and taught in schools, used as lingua francas, Urdu and English. Yeah, that's right, it's pronounced Urdu. For reference, Urdu is basically the same thing as Hindi, except it has a few extra words and phrases borrowed from Persian and Arabic. It's also written in the Perso-Arabic script. Here are some of you guys, the Pakistani geographers, explaining the subtle differences between Urdu and Hindi.
Hi, I'm Asya from Pakistan. Khatoon is a woman in Urdu, and in Hindi it's Mahila, usually. Also, words like miracle, which is mojiza in Urdu, is chamatkar in Hindi.
I'm Maha from Lahore. Some of the words, or more like sentences, are quite the same in both the languages. Like the word magician, in both Hindi and Urdu, it's jadugar. But to a Pakistani and an Indian, the language differences are quite stark. Let's take thank you for example. In Hindi, you would say dhanyawad, but in Urdu, you would say shukriya.
Thanks, guys. Now, within the areas that make up Pakistan today, there is no one type of Pakistani. They come in all different shapes and colors, but the general demographic configuration layout shows that the east is more Indo-Aryan and the west is more Perso-Iranian. We don't have time to explain the culture behind all the many people groups of Pakistan, but we can highlight the largest ones. Let's start off. Punjabis. They are the river people. The word Punjab here means land of 5 waters. They are the backbone of the Indus River Valley. They are known for having a lot of agriculture or artisan-associated people, but basically everyone knows that Punjabis are like the partiers of Pakistan. Their cousins, the Saraiki of the south, are kind of like a weird fusion between Punjabis and Sindhis. They love cooking with these flowers and are famous for their Jumar dancing. Sindhis are the southerners of Pakistan that rule the delta and the largest city, Karachi. They are kind of known for being the money handlers, the business guys of Pakistan that keep the gears running on the financial side. Sufi Islam has a huge impact on Sindhi culture. And Pashtuns. These are the same Pashtuns that we talked about in the very first Geography Now episode, Afghanistan. Ooh, remember those days. Ooh, they are Iranic people group related to the Persians and Afghani groups, not Indo-Aryan. Many of them still follow Pashtunwali, or the ancient self-governing tribal system that regulates everyday life activities in Pashtun communities. They have their own traditional clothing, festivals. Many celebrate Nowruz, the Persian New Year. And finally, Baluchis. They are the cousins of the Pashtuns, another Iranian people group. Like the Pashtuns, they have their own tribal societies. According to tradition, all the tribes are descended from one of the 5 children of Jalal Khan. At one point, there was kind of like a little bit of an insurrection amongst the Baluchi people for secession into an independent Balochistan state. They are the most mineral-rich province in Pakistan, which is why their women are known for wearing some of the most lavish jewelry. And finally, we have to mention the cold mountain people, such as the Kashmiris, Baltis, Pakis, and so on. Kashmiris are Indo-Aryan, whereas Baltis are Sino-Tibetan. They exist. Some people live the longest and have a super healthy special diet. The Kalash people have lots of blondes and redheads, and they practice a form of animism related to ancient Hinduism. And there are so many other people groups, but we don't have time. That's the gist of it. That's how you make up Pakistan. Otherwise, there are some traits that most Pakistanis kind of universally follow. And with that, here's Random Hannah to explain with culture stuff.
Pakistan, no matter what region you go to, you are very likely to see the traditional dress called
Oh,
shalwar
I have
kameez.
one, I have
They come in all
one.
different colors and designs. India has Bollywood and Pakistan has Lollywood, the term
Bollywood.
used for the film industry centered around Lahore, mostly producing Urdu-speaking films
The
so
Lollywood
everyone can
world is
understand.
like-
Pakistan also has the most active and numerous UN peacekeepers, usually working in Islamic countries to help as mediators in religious-based conflict. Speaking of which, they have the 6th largest military force in the world. They are famous for the Wagah border ceremony,
Oh,
done
I
every
see.
day at the
Where
border
was
with
it
India.
too?
Many
It's
people
on the
know
border,
Pakistan and India as cricket powerhouses. However, they love field hockey and squash as well. They have the best performance in the world with
Oh,
4
nice.
championships. And with squash, they have the most British Open squash championships and world championships as well. And finally, of course, at about 95% of the population adhering to it, Pakistan unites mostly under the Muslim faith. Nonetheless, the Constitution guarantees freedom of religion, and there are noticeable Hindu and Christian minorities. However, the Constitution does limit political rights of non-Muslims. For example, the president and prime minister must always be Muslim. And now, I'm sorry guys, but here's Keith with some music stuff.
Pakistan, there are 3 main general genres you will hear commonly throughout the country. Traditional regional music, religious music, and modern music. A long time ago, before the European system was adopted, many places in the Indian subcontinent had a musical notation print called Swaralipi. It depicted notes, scales, and pitch. Raga music uses this a lot. Nonetheless, much of Pakistani music is based on improvisation and learned technique. Today, everything from Pakistani hip-hop, pop, and yes, even metal has been growing in the past few decades.
I love how you were so pumped for half that sentence and then you died. Now, usually we don't sugarcoat everything here at Geography Now. I asked you guys, the Pakistani geography peeps, to explain some of the current issues Pakistan is facing today. They do have blasphemy laws enacted in their government system, which some see as a suppression of speech. Illiteracy and unemployment can also be high in certain areas as well. Just like their neighbors, human trafficking, especially of the homeless and homeless children, has been widely documented. Many officials like this guy are trying their best to fight against this. And finally, yes, we all know that there is controversy with the jihadist terrorist organizations like Al-Qaeda that have been operating back and forth within regions of South Asia, often within Pakistani borders. This has been a constant struggle that the country has been facing. Their army has undergone numerous pursuits and clashes and battles against them. Terrorist attacks have killed over 30,000 people and caused over $67 billion in damage. Luckily, it has been in decline since the peak in 2009. Whew, yeah, Pakistan has beautiful land and people, but to quote Poison, every rose has its thorn.
Hey man, I'm the music guy, man, dude.
Sorry, Mr. Chance. Anyway, we gotta move on. History. In the quickest way I can put it, Neolithic Meghar people, Indus Valley civilization, Indo-Aryans migrate, Hinduism, Persians, Macedonians, Mauryans, a little bit of Buddhism comes in, weird, confusing Indo-Greek Scythian Parthian kingdoms, more Hindu kingdoms, Arab Caliphate, Islam comes in, Turkic dynasty, Mongols, yeah, even the Mongols took a step back.
Mongols went
Weird regional
everywhere,
kingdom
so-
era,
Everywhere.
Mughals, British, independence and partition,
Everywhere
Pakistan is
you go.
2 parts, wars with India, Bangladesh breaks and doesn't want to be part of Pakistan anymore, first democratic transition from military rule, coups, military tension, China deals, country grows, and here we are today. And finally, here are some famous people you guys, the Pakistani geography suggested we mention. Jahangir Khan, Sohail Abbas,
you know these
Malala
guys?
Yousafzai, a bunch of singers and actors like
Yeah.
these people. There's just too many to mention. But one of the most famous ones would probably be Rahat Fateh Ali Khan. So many politicians and army people like these. I'm just gonna put it on the screen for you, as well as all these
Yeah, me
sports
too.
and athletic people. Mahbubul Haq, Mir Muhammad Ali Khan, Abdul Qadir Khan, Abdul Salam, and Shahid Khan. A lot of poets and religious figures like these. But this one, Allama Iqbal, probably being one of the
this
most
one
prominent
also,
ones.
yeah,
Yeah, so many notable famous Pakistanis. I'm pretty sure a lot of people around the world have heard of them. Which
Yes,
brings us
they
to
do.
the world
Yeah.
relations, which brings us to.
Friend
Now
zone.
you have to understand, Pakistan was kind of like a constructed state to consolidate religious communities in a former empire. So that means with Pakistan, a lot of their diplomacy depends on strategy. For one, even though they were a former colony, they still have a somewhat neutral-ish kind of amicable relationship with the UK. The UK has the largest population of Pakistanis in Europe. Many come from the Mirpur district, and you can still see much of the cultural influences in their society, such as cricket and driving on the left. They have generally good relations with the Gulf countries like the UAE, Saudi Arabia, Kuwait. Many Pakistanis moved there for work work as expats. The past few years, though, there has been some controversy with mistreatment of Pakistanis and other expats by certain companies, but overall, the governments get along at least. Afghanistan and Iran are like their love-hate cousins. During terrorist conflict years, Pakistan took in millions of Afghan refugees that are essentially brothers of the Pashtuns in the north. It remains a constant issue, though, that they are facing to this day. Iran is also a key figure in business and trade, as well as supplying oil and other imports. India and Bangladesh also have a similar love-hate relationship. It's more like they hate the governments, but love the people. India and Pakistan, of course, have so much history together, even before British colonial years. As mentioned, many of the people groups there share the same language and culture. The only thing essentially separating them is religion. Bangladesh, of course, broke away from Pakistan after the partition years and favored India shortly after independence. This kind of angered Pakistan at first, but decades later they've kind of moved on and have good relations once again. In terms of their friends, Bangladesh is saying Turkey or China. Essentially what it comes down to is a kind of standoff against India. When one giant leaves you drama, you kind of settle for the other one. Together they have the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor project, in which they allow them to use the port of Gwadar for their development and trade deals funded by China. Each country's people are welcomed in each other's and visits are common. With Turkey though, they've kind of always had a respect for the people, culture, and history, TV shows and movies. They support the government and have many diplomatic business ties with them. This of course by default also brings in Azerbaijan, Turkey's little brother. They love to travel to both of these nations and even go so far as to support Azerbaijan's side in the controversial disputes with Armenia. In conclusion, Pakistan may have been formed in the 40s, but you have millennia of backstory with this place. Pakistan, it is what it is. Go for it. Stay tuned. Palau is coming up next.
Palau? Chicken palau or mutton palau?
Oh, that
It's a
made
country
me
palau.
hungry.
Okay, the country palau.
Oh my god. That was a beefy
That's-
meal.
There's a lot of information there.
I love it. We should do more of these.
Yeah.
We should do maybe other countries as
Yeah,
well, not
I
just
think-
our
I
country,
think we should
like
do other
France and all
countries.
that.
Yeah.
Because it's interesting.
There's just so much information in 19 minutes.
But what are the best places to visit in Pakistan, according to you?
Like, if you like nature, then it's north, obviously.
Yeah.
And if you like city and all, then Islamabad, Lahore. I don't recommend Karachi because it's overly packed and it's so dirty. And
Come on, it's your city, you have to,
It's my city, but we
praise
have
it.
a lot of things
You
too.
have to pack it up.
It's kind of, we call it the city that never sleeps because we are up till 4 a.m. You will still see cars on the road.
Doing what? Making money?
But in Islamabad and Lahore, Islamabad especially, they're so I don't know, kind of punctual. So they all sleep at 10 and shops all day. I think they close at 8 p.m. or something, if I'm not wrong.
Oh,
But yeah.
okay. So it's
But
more
this
for
shops
families.
close
Quiet
at 8?
place.
I think so, and they don't have much places to go also, I think. But Islamabad is nice. It's a mix of nature and city side, so it's nature and mountains and all that,
Yes.
and then the proper city.
Infrastructure.
When
Yeah.
do shops close in your countries, by the way?
Depends, different shops.
In
thing is that
Pakistan, in Karachi.
shops-
Like the general, the clothing shops and
So-
malls and
See,
stuff.
I'm from Jaipur, Rajasthan, so it's different as I told. So in my city, so I see grocery stores and everything closing around 9, 10,
Oh, so
11.
Oh yeah, something
It
like
depends
that
on
also.
them, but yeah, it's a personal choice.
I think for us it's 11 for malls.
in my country,
Something
clothing
like that.
stores, malls, 10, 11, shops do close at 10, 11, but then sometimes you can knock on the door, you can wake them up and they'll wake up and they'll
They
sell you
sleep
things.
inside.
Oh my
Yeah.
god,
You're like-
seriously?
Yeah, you have a lighter? You have a lighter?
Yeah, no, because the thing is that maybe in his case the house and the shop are
Yeah.
That's why.
Yeah, that's why.
okay.
If your shop is somewhere else, you
Yeah,
go
I
back
think
to house, then you
I've
can't do
seen
that.
a couple, I've seen those stuff in
If it's a
Tehran.
proper
Yeah.
supermarket, then until 10, 11.
Actually, not in Tehran, but in Isfahan, I've seen that. The person, if you're not, that happened to me once actually.
Yeah.
Sometimes
Long
you
time.
knock on the door, there's a drunk husband, he wakes up. You know?
I'm very
Can I have
hungry,
Coca-Cola,
man.
please?
I'm very hungry after seeing this video.
I love such videos, educational.
Yeah, I
I
love
want
this
I want
video.
Rogan Josh.
Actually, the one thing that I was actually shocked, I didn't know that in this Kashmir drama, China is also involved.
Yeah.
I thought it's just between Pakistan and India.
Because the more land they have, the better it is for them, right?
With China, actually, we're so like good friends because even on
BFFs?
like it says like
Ni hao,
China
ma.
friendship long live, and we have like a kind of like an anthem for our Pakistan
Oh,
China.
okay.
It's
What?
called Pak Chin Dosti Zindabad.
But
like,
how does
literally, yeah.
No, but how does the Chinese understand this?
No, but it's for Pakistanis, right? Like
For
to
theirs
China.
is like Nang Ching Tong Ching
Okay.
Yakama. Oh my god, sorry if there's any Chinese
That's
person.
racist.
You can do the same with person.
So what
okay?
did you guys-
Okay.
What was one thing
I-
that caught your attention? Because already in like 19 minutes we have to be like.
I know that I already knew that Pakistan was diverse, but I didn't know that there was people who look like European,
Oh,
white
yeah.
skin, blue eyes. That was very
Yeah.
interesting. That was an interesting finding. Another thing I feel like they forgot to add, the people of Pakistan are very hospitable. I think.
Oh yeah.
Even though I haven't
that's
visited the
true.
place myself, there's a lot of Pakistani people
We are
here.
known for this.
Free food and all that. Very hospitality levels are very high.
Yes, that is
Good job,
true.
No, that's the one thing which both the countries share actually.
In India too, yeah, I agree.
There's a saying in India, Atithi Devo Bhava.
Okay, what is it?
That means like the Mehman. So the
We have a saying in
yeah,
Farsi.
yeah, so
Yeah.
it's like
Like
Mehman. What is the English word for Mehman?
I guess.
Yes.
Guest, yeah. Okay, guest is like Atithi Devo Bhava, like a word for us.
Oh.
Okay.
So they give a lot of importance to the hospitality.
Oh,
side.
we say
okay.
guest is a friend of God, kind of.
Oh.
Like
Oh,
they
So,
would
okay.
have
yeah,
it
it's
for them.
something similar.
That's why I'm always treated very nice in Sufyan's house.
Yeah.
In Zahra's house. And in Adam's
Yeah.
house.
Adam's houses.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Comment, like, subscribe, hit the notification
Yeah, I was
bell.
saying that if you want us to,
Yes.
if you want us to react to other geography now
Yes.
apart from Kazakhstan and our
Yes, other
countries,
countries.
let us know because it's actually very interesting for us. We want to know if it's interesting for you to see our
Yes.
reactions to it. So comment and like and subscribe and hit the notification
Notification
bell
bell.
and bye.
Bye.